We are back.
And we are live, baby. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah.
We live?
Yeah, we live. We are live. We are live.
We live.
It's been a long time, but we here. We here.
We shouldn't have left you
Uh,
without a dope beat to step two.
step two. Step two. Step two. Step two. Yeah, man.
It's been a long time. What up, everybody? Welcome to the UnScripted podcast, All Talk. I am one of your hosts, Sam Legacy Moetta. My other host,
You know the vibes, man. GQ when we are here. What's going on, people? Yes.
and we have a special guest. Hi, Stephanie. How are you?
Hey, how are you?
We're
I'm
great.
Good.
We're great. So, Stephanie, I would like you to please tell people your social media handles, tell them what you're about, etc., etc. And
Throw
then
it all
we'll get
out
into
there?
it. Yeah, why not?
Okay. All right. Well, you can find me at the Long Island Kundalini Yogini. If you need help spelling that.
Yeah, please.
Really? Okay. Long Island Kundalini, Kundalini Yogini. Yeah. That's that.
Okay. What does Kundalini mean?
Kundalini is the coiled, I guess, energy that's in everybody and just waits to be activated.
So I'm gonna give you a little bit of rap history,
Okay.
but it's actual like scientific history. So for those who don't know, Jay-Z and Nas back in the early 2000s had a beef, and Nas made a song called Ether. Right now we know ether as one of the flammable whatever, but in reality, all matter that connects us through space
The space between
is ether.
That's right.
The
Love
more you
that.
know, you cut it out.
Awesome. Oh, man.
You know.
Yeah, that's dope. So okay. So tell us about your business, why you started it, what you're all about, etc., etc., etc.
All right. Well, basically, I teach people how to breathe. I think you know how to breathe, but we really don't. So Kundalini Yoga teaches people how to breathe, move their bodies, and raise their energy.
Okay.
All right. And I started doing it in 2019. I was very, very depressed for about 20-ish or so years.
Wow.
And I was sick and tired of it. Depression is very heavy, right? You feel
absolutely.
super heavy. All your energy is just so heavy. And I was just tired, literally tired of it. And so I was looking for something, and Kundalini Yoga found me. I tried it one time, and I never looked back. It really feels blissful. I'm going to say this is the truth. They say Kundalini Yoga is for people who like to get high because it gets you high. You get high on your supply of oxygen. And you feel really good. You feel blissful, and it's natural. It's your breath.
Yeah.
And so I started doing it and felt amazing. And slowly, my energy started to move up and up. And finally, I was not depressed. I was on medication for a few years, and I was able to get off it and, saved my life.
That's dope.
And in 2020... the world was crumbling. I was getting high. Not really, but
I mean, there's no judgment.
Yeah, no judgment. It's okay.
But, so I was doing great, and I started looking into it to start teaching it, and I got certified, and here I am.
Dope.
Yeah.
Dope. So, what were your main challenges when you were starting? Like, what was the thing that you felt like, okay, this is a hurdle that I must overcome? Is it, was it financial? Was it finding a place? Was it people
when
around
I started
you?
teaching?
Yes.
Well, okay, the biggest obstacle I think is that most people don't know what Kundalini Yoga is. And those that do have heard there's a lot of myths surrounding it. And so it's a little bit, I don't want to say intimidating or scary, but people just haven't heard of it. You know, just regular yoga, like Hatha yoga, and that's just now hitting the mainstream.
Yeah.
So Kundalini Yoga is like totally new, but it's been around for, thousands of years. But it's just unheard of, right? And so the biggest obstacle is just getting people to try it.
Okay.
Give it a shot, and it's slow. It's slow going. So I'm teaching at a few studios on Long Island right now, and just planting seeds.
Okay.
There's some people who come in, like dip their toes. Other people love it, come back, and it's only been a few months that I've been teaching. So that's it. I'm just out there planting seeds right now.
Okay. So now with you said you have children, correct?
Yes.
Like
three kids.
Okay. Boys, girls?
3 girls.
3 girls. Woo. Listen, I got 2 of them.
Yes.
And they personalities is so different.
Right.
It's so different.
I'll tell you, my first daughter was an angel. An angel. She was amazing, and I was like, all right, I can do this. I'm a good mom. I thought it was me, right? So I'm like, let's have number 2. And then number 2 came, and she was completely different.
Yeah.
And I was like, it took me by surprise. She brought me to my knees.
For this?
Right.
Like,
I'm like, wait a minute. I'm doing the same things, and she's not responding in the same way. And she brought me to my knees, and it took a while for me to realize, oh, it's different personalities. I gotta go with whatever each one. It's really hard. It's really hard.
So how have they been receptive towards your new journey? Have they?
Interesting question there. That was
good.
Really
That's good. That was very good.
So they knew me as depressed mom. Which is the reason I was looking for something. I didn't want them to remember me in that way.
Okay.
So they loved me coming out of my room, all blissed out. They'd be like, yeah, look at her go. But then, I continued further into the journey, and it takes you into a journey, so there's a lot of changes, right? Different consciousness, and it is better, but they saw me change, and they didn't know like what's happening. Are you the same person? And so my oldest, at one point, because when the Kundalini hit my crown chakra, I felt like my head was going to explode, and so I started wearing turbans just to keep the pressure in. So she didn't like that. She was like,
wow.
Yeah, this is too much. You're too, I don't know who you are anymore. So she was really turned off by that, and she didn't like me for a while.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
But they did like the fact that I was happy now and not yelling as much. But it was like they didn't know to trust it, So it took them a while, but they're fine. They love it now.
Okay.
And there was a whole nother thing. Like I received a spiritual name.
Okay.
So that's Devi Kavalia. And so I just changed my personal Instagram name to my spiritual name. And now that I just did that recently, and my daughter again was like, what, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Who are you? And it seems, I get it. It seems weird. But
kids are so mean. It's so mean.
I know.
So mean.
Yeah.
But
who are you?
Yeah. My daughters, they like, especially the youngest, Angelina. You know what I mean? She's like, hi, old man. Hi, old man.
Cause you old man now?
Yes, they keep it real.
Old man. Old
they
man.
keep it real.
Yeah, all right, old man. Like, I was like, listen, this old man will whoop your ass. like, don't get it mixed up. The police can't save you.
Yo.
They think
but listen, it's gonna take them a while. At least I got a good 5 minutes.
Yes.
So.
They keep you humble. They keep you real.
Absolutely.
So, but they're dealing with it now, and
So, with everything now, you're speaking about different chakras. You're talking about energy.
Yes.
Now, off air, we were talking about, how certain people might perceive certain things. Like, is it something where it's religious and maybe, with you wearing a turban, right? Because we're in this weird era of everybody feeling offended for no reason and woke and not woke and I'm triggered and so
Yes.
you know what I mean? So like so from viewing your daughter's perspective, she's probably like, how are my friends going to view this? How is because that's who influences these kids. It's not us. It's not the ones that's paying the bills and making sure you have a roof over your head.
Exactly.
And you got toilet paper to wipe your ass. No. It's not us.
Yo, bro.
It's your friends.
Right. Right.
So how do you view that now? Was it something that you felt like, okay, I had a divine intervention with the creator of the universe? Was it, a special spiritual leader that got you on this journey? Was it a book that you read?
Well, she did say the whole depressed thing.
But something has to lead you to that.
Yes. So what's interesting? Simrit, she's a musician. She's also a Kundalini teacher, and it was her music I found. Or like I said, it found me. She's on Instagram, and I heard her music, and it was literally like just get you.
Yeah.
It
drew you in, yeah.
And her voice is just gorgeous, and she's a teacher, and her husband, Jaidev and Simrit, they have the Life Force Academy.
Okay.
And I started studying with them, and they really did. Their energy, even though it was just over Instagram, they drew me in. And that's it. Yeah, they did it. They did it. And Jaidev just came into Manhattan a few weeks ago, and I actually did a live class with him.
Okay.
That was pretty wild. But Kundalini Yoga, actually, the main guru. It was taught by. He's passed away now, but he got into a lot of trouble in 2020.
Ooh.
Bhajan, Yogi Bhajan. So
he wasn't telling people to kill themselves or nothing like that, right?
No, but he was like a very...
Because that's the time when people get in trouble. It's like it's a cult.
Right.
So, no.
Yeah,
they call it cultish.
Okay.
They call it cultish, but honestly, I've studied with him online. Not with him, but his studies. And the thing is this, I'm teaching you these tools.
Okay.
I am not a guru. I'm not going to tell you how to think, what to think. I'm just teaching you how to be your own guru.
Okay.
And I think when people, for instance now, I have students and they are like, oh, I love you, and I want to follow you. And I'm like, no.
Mm-hmm.
Do not follow me because I'm just doing me.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell I'm doing. Like I tell my kids, I'm growing up with you. I'm not giving you teachings. I'm just giving you tools. So I'm going to fuck up. May I say that?
Yeah. That's fine. That's fine.
It's like sailors.
Yeah.
Me too.
Terrible.
No, it's all good.
It's all good.
So, right, like I'm going to fuck up. And do not follow me for that reason. I'm just here to give you tools. So I think a lot of people followed Yogi Bhajan and he messed up or he said the wrong things.
Probably wasn't clear enough too as well too. Yeah.
How could you? So I, think it's very important to put that out there. You are your own guru. You have your own truths.
True.
Very different than my experience and your experience. So I can't tell you what to think.
Exactly.
And Kundalini Yoga is not a religion.
Okay.
That's one of the myths. On my page, I'm dispelling some of the myths.
Okay.
And one of them is this is not a cult. This is not a religion. You can be any religion you want and still practice Kundalini Yoga. Or any yoga, It's not about dogma or anything.
Okay.
It's really just about tuning into yourself.
Okay.
You have your own truths. Your intuition is tapping into your own intuition, and that's what I teach. I'm not telling you what to do. And you listen to your body, yourself, and
You take your own accountability.
Yes, yes. I'm only a human, sad to say.
So, I'm gonna get personal.
Okay.
Question: Are you married?
I'm married.
Okay. How does your husband like take that?
He's very on a very different wavelength than this. When I started, I mean, so when the Kundalini rises, right, this energy, when your frequency changes,
Okay.
right? So you have different vibes, and so he was not changing, right? I'm changing. I was trying to get him on board with me just so we can kind of rise together, but you can't make people.
You can bring a horse to water, but you can't make it drink.
And it's not for everyone. Everyone's
Absolutely,
journey is
yeah.
different.
You're
so
totally right.
I put it out there, and it just wasn't his journey. So he's not a yogini. He's not a yogi. Yogini's me. Okay, so he's not. That's not what he does, and he is his own person. So, but it does cause a little, different
Frictions.
differences, a little bit. Yeah, I mean. Yeah, we change. We're changing, or I'm changing, and he's not, and I don't know. So it's part of the reason why I think, especially Kundalini Yoga has such a reputation, is because it does change you so deeply.
Okay.
So like I said, even my kids were like, "Who are you?" All of a sudden, but it's me. This is who I am. This is who I've always been. We're just shedding the masks, I guess, So it's an interesting journey relationship-wise, and so, we're still traveling and seeing where we are, where we're going, but that's a very good question, because it does change a lot.
And I feel like too, like with practices, like other practices and so on, when it comes to like spirituality, when you're on your own path, a lot of people won't understand you while you're going through that journey, especially like when you actually do let go and you do find yourself. And, it's troublesome to people when they're really going through it. You want people to be supportive, but sometimes it's just you're on your own, And I know when it comes to frequency, when, family, friends, whoever, and they're not on the same frequency as you just know that friction's right there. You're just like, you just got to step away, or like, we'll come back to this later on, And I know it's difficult, and I think like with people when they're going through these journeys, they just have to understand like it's okay, Sometimes we try to bring people on, but we just have to be understanding like we just can't really bring everybody with us, And that's just what a lot of people don't understand.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and it's okay.
Totally okay.
Yeah. It just happens.
Yep.
So, what were, like you said, you felt that you got like more energetic, more happy.
Yes.
Were there certain things that you look back on and you're like, wow? Because you said mask, like getting rid of mask, like, because we're all insecure. That's a fact. There's things that we're insecure about, whether it's our weight, how we look, how we articulate ourselves, if we're speaking a certain vernacular, how we're being perceived to, everybody's indirectly has influence on our own self-esteem. Yeah. Now, do you find yourself, now that you're in this new path, do you find like it's added a little bit more to that, or do you feel like you've completely embraced this new being that you are becoming or have become, and you can say, okay, if you see like, because certain things kind of linger back and go through, and then now you're like, I've been through that before, I'm gonna dismiss this. How are you perceiving that?
That's another good question. Just this morning I taught a class, and we focus very much in Kundalini Yoga on the core. Okay. Right? That's our power center, that's our solar plexus, and that's our identity, the lower chakras, right? This is where we connect on earth, and so that's where your confidence comes from. right? So if you're like, think about it, if you're solid here, no matter what life throws at you, you're gonna stand.
Yeah.
You're not gonna fall, and even if you fall, you're gonna come back up because that's your power. So there's like a deeper sense of confidence that comes from there. It's not superficial. It's not based on how I look or my job title or how much money I have. It's just like this deep internal confidence. So I find myself, I used to be very insecure, especially during depression. I would be like hiding, like a what do they call, wallflower, right? I'd be like, don't look at me. And so now I'm like, even if I mess up, even if I'm okay with it because I know who I am, like on a deeper level. So and that's like, you take off the masks. It's not about anything on the outside. It's really just all about who you are internally. So now I'm like, I'm okay with who I am. And it doesn't have to be it's definitely not perfect, and I'm okay with that. And I think that's what I'm trying to teach my students is, again, find out who you really are. It's not what we think our parents tell us we should be, our TV tells us we should be, Instagram for sure tells us what we should look like. And it's, I dropped off my daughter today, and high school's super all about insecurity.
Oh my gosh.
It's terrible. And so she's walking off into school, and from behind, she looks just like everyone else. Like they're all wearing the same Ugg slippers. And it's like the same flared leggings and the same, and I'm like, oh my gosh, who are you?
Yeah.
You want to wear that's, I guess, just the age, and but like that's what it is. They're trying to be like everyone else. They don't want to stand out. They just want to fit in,
and that's so weird to me in this day and age because, like, I'm a '90s baby. Well, I'm an '80s baby, but 90s
raised in the '90s, yeah.
And so, like, I'm just, even with music, there was so many genres of music. Not that it disappeared, but like, I think like everything now is just like hip hop, and it's corny because like you had some like good rock and roll bands, Creed, Linkin Park, like even some of the house music and like some of the pop music and NSYNC and Backstreet Boys, like it was okay to be that individual. You had goth, but now it's like
the same.
Yeah.
Everything's almost the same.
How did it get like that?
I believe social media. I think social media plays a big part with a lot of like these young like kids growing up. Like no one can find themselves because what they see and what they perceive is this is who I gotta be. I gotta be this type of person. But we didn't have social media. We didn't have to post what we're doing. We didn't have to. Oh, this is what's going on, or whatever case may be. None of that played a part when we were growing up. When we were in high school, you really had to figure yourself out. Like you didn't have to post what you're doing. Or, this is what's going on. Blah 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 blah. It just really, it's sad that don't get me wrong. Social media is great, but it plays a part where a lot of these young kids don't find themselves, and it takes them a lot longer for them to really find themselves when they really understand life and they go through adulthood after college and they're like, oh, okay, this is really what I gotta do, and that's when they really find themselves, so that's the only
I'm trying. After I became a mom, I started going into Judaism. I'm a Greek Orthodox Christian, and I love my culture. But the religion, I'm just, I don't know. I'm open-minded, right? I do a little bit this, a little bit that. But I started studying Judaism, and I think it's a beautiful religion. It really, I feel like, is the truth. It's a good handbook for parenting. And so I started studying that for my kids and how to raise them with soul and to be who they are uniquely themselves, and I'm hoping it catches on. I try to instill it because they are so unique and such incredible kids, and all kids are so unique, but then they kind of lose their way. But they will find it.
Yeah.
I'm sure of it.
Absolutely, of course.
Just have to go through this journey. Yeah.
So how is that now? Because obviously Judaism is the beginning. It's you know what I mean, and then it's the father of two other religions. A lot of people don't know that. They just think Christianity, but Islam.
Right.
Yeah.
It branched out from there. Sure.
So even in the Bible, it tells you about like how I forgot which I know the story. I don't want to get into it.
Yeah, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Very sensitive, but yeah.
The thing now is, how do you balance that? Do you find yourself praying differently? Do you pray at all? Do you?
I pray. I'm like a walking prayer.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm like a prayer wheel. It's interesting because in 2020 I did this very intensive retreat. And that's when I feel like I birthed this new consciousness. And it's incredible. Like after 4 days of isolation, doing this, it was online in my little cave room. And I came out of it. It was incredible. I came out on day 4, and it was the Christian, oh my gosh, Christian, like what's the 40 days after Easter?
Oh.
Gosh, this is like my favorite part of the whole religion.
It's like with the Muslims
That's
with
when
Ramadan.
they came down. That's when the Spirit came down after 40 days after they say Jesus resurrected.
Yeah.
Pentecost.
Yeah.
Pentecost,
Okay.
right? So that's when the Spirit comes down 40 days later. So I come out of my retreat on Pentecost. So that's 50 days after. Anyway, I was like, yes, I never felt better. I was like, on sky high. It was amazing. And that very day, the Greek church posts an announcement saying that yoga is not compatible with this religion. With their religion, with Orthodox Christianity. And I was like, no way, because I feel like what I think Jesus was talking about. I felt it. And I'm like, this is so wrong. It's not going against this religion. I don't feel like anything I'm doing is going against my religion. In fact, I feel like it's exactly what Jesus was talking about.
Okay.
And so I'm still, I don't really go to church anymore, but church is
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
When, Jesus was talking about the kingdom is inside you, that's your heart chakra.
Yeah.
That's love. That is the kingdom. So I don't know. It's weird. They want to keep you.
Yes, in this box. Yeah.
But it really doesn't.
So it's a funny story, right? Like my friend is Haitian, and he was telling me how he was on a cruise with his dad, who happens to be a Haitian pastor, and they were doing yoga. So he's like, now we're gonna go into Zen. He's like, no, Jesus, no, that's it. Like because anything that seems to deviate from what we're taught. It's scary because
Yeah, I was gonna say that too.
You know what I mean? Because you hear about possessions, and then when you're opening, yourself to different intermediums or mediums or whatever, you don't know what you're also attracting. Remember, where there's light, there's also darkness. So I think that's where the fear is, and if your relationship with the Creator isn't that strong, we've seen a lot of, scary movies when he got possessed. Like, hey, why you upside down? What's going on?
Yeah, word.
So I think that's where people's fear of the unknown,
Absolutely, 100%.
But then also, there's been times where, God has spoken through somebody, and because we don't have that unique and close connection, now we don't know. we don't know because now it could be God Himself speaking through you, and it could be interpreted a different way. Like I'm gonna go over here. I'm gonna go over here. It's the fear because we're not raised. I want to say like it's such a catch-22 because we further back, religion had such an influence on everyday life, right?
Yes.
And then with the advancement of science, because there's always people to this day that just take religion a little too far, and so it's like, no, they're not possessed. They have a medical condition.
No, right.
You're not, you know what I mean? You're like abusing this child, saying that they have the devil in them. Meanwhile, you know what I mean?
They're having a seizure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right.
So it's so hard to kind of find your own way to be like, all right, God, I'm listening. I'm trying to understand, but just like how God is there, whatever deity or whatever non-deity is there too. Like, oh, word. So
Yeah.
So I completely understand that, but I'm happy that you found it and you're finding peace and you're making your way toward the kingdom, which is everybody's objective. You know what I mean?
Hopefully.
Like,
right.
That's not your objective.
I said hopefully for this.
Well, that's
you.
true.
I'm
These
just.
people
You
that
know what I'm saying?
Other things,
Hopefully.
things that sacrifice.
You know how it is.
Things, yeah.
It's always last minute. Oh my gosh! Please God! Please God! It's always last minute.
Yeah.
It's never now.
It's
It's never now. It's never in the moment.
He said, now that I'm on my 8th stage of cancer, God, let's have a conversation.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, literally. It's always like when it's the last moment. Now you're looking to God. It's never like when you got good days, bad days. It's always like when you need something. It's never when you could just be like, I'm thankful for another day.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to wake up.
Yeah.
I'm thankful to breathe.
Fingers,
Yeah, I got everything. I could walk. So on and so forth.
Thankful for not being in a fire and having my face deformed.
Absolutely.
Like it's a lot to.
Gratitude is the attitude.
Yeah. I had listened to something, which I listen to a lot. I listen to a lot of I am affirmations and something about it was like a thing because just things that seep into your subconscious because that voice sometimes can be helpful or it can be hurtful.
Yes.
So I had listened to something that said by Oprah Winfrey, write down 5 things you're thankful for, and then right after you do that, make a list of 5 things that you want. And I'm gonna start. I've started. My list was more than 5. I was like, yo, you know what? I'm thankful for these bed sheets.
Yes.
I'm thankful for this Wi-Fi. So all right. So now, tell us about your teachings. Like, have you had a story where somebody was on the cusp? Because I think a lot of people don't realize how real depression is and how stress and anxiety is. It's a killer, literally.
It is.
It is. So have you come across anybody that they thank you for literally saving their life in a sense where like, well, God or whatever deity they believe in, Steph, they sent you, like, do you have any of the stories?
Well, I think I've tried to be the light. I mean, since I was a little girl, like my dad was, love him. He's passed away. He was a beast of a man. He didn't know any better. He was very rough, and he was not the best to my mom. And I protected her from a young age. I would go up against him. I was like, I don't care. He could have killed me, really, but I didn't care. I, just always tried to be protective. And my brother has epilepsy, and I always wanted to take it away from him. And I always thought I could handle it better than he could. And I wished that it would be me, not him. I don't know. I'm a positive person. I feel like but I don't know if I've saved anyone. But I am there, and I try to be there for people and love them and be the light. I'm a great listener. And so I think like it's very, I'm not that I mean, I want to say I'm a healer because that's just the energy I have for people. I do want to help people, and that's why I'm doing what I'm doing. I know I can, and we'll see how the future goes. If I can help anyone, I'm here for it. I've been depressed. I've been in the throes of darkness on my knees, and like I've been there. I get it, and I mean, if I can help someone, I'll be there. But I've definitely been there for friends and family, and I feel like I'm like a breath of fresh air for some people.
That's beautiful. That's good.
Yeah, that's what I try to just be light and share my light, and that's that.
Do you find yourself listening to different music, watching different movies? Because I know, like, even me right now, like, if it's not giving me some kind of value to motivate me to do more work or be whatever, like, I listen to, like, this rapper, may he rest in peace, his name is Nipsey Hussle.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I listen to him, like,
yeah. Well, I don't know.
No, I know what you mean. You know what I mean? Like, I listen to him heavy. Like, us being entrepreneurs, just all these ideas. And it's like, I listen to that. Like, I can't listen to a lot of stuff. Maybe because I'm in a specific mindset.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself in that kind of, like, medium per se, or that vision per se? Like, you know what? This is not aligning or what my energy feels. I can't listen to this. Do you see yourself doing that?
Yeah, I kind of right now I'm not. Can't say I listen to Simran. I mean, I do listen to Lil Nas X. I just did my class today to him.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's
That's
funny because you guys were promoting. I don't know who put up one of the promotional posts, but it was like a yoga background music, and I'm like, I rarely put on yoga music to my classes.
That's cool though.
I don't know. It's different, but I do. Yeah, I mean, I have to vibe with what I'm listening to. But specifically, I don't know. I'm kind of like all over the place. You said Nas before, and I love Nas. Yesterday, I was listening to I Gave You Power.
I think that's off his new album, no?
No, that one's old.
Yeah, no, I believe that's old, if I'm not mistaken.
Point of view of a gun. This was very powerful. So yeah, do love Nas.
Yeah.
He's my fave, actually.
That's amazing because I feel like a lot of the times. Oh, hold on.
Yeah, it's paused because of the battery. Yeah.
That's
So, my brother Seth Wed. It would be dope if like he was here and my brother El Mystique. It'd be dope if like the three of you were just talking.
Oh yeah, that's actually one of our really really good friends. He actually same thing. I feel like everybody had, well, not everybody, but a lot of people went through a journey or spiritual journey and really just found themselves. So same thing, had a whole videography business, was doing really really well. Business went down. Depression. It's amazing how depression really just.
It's not such a bad thing as we think.
I wouldn't say it's a bad thing, but you know what? A lot of the times we don't have a lot of people to talk to. And especially us as men, we don't talk about our problems at all. We don't know who to turn to. And some men, we'll just not really talk to our boys or whatever the case may be. Maybe somebody confide in somebody or like our partner. But a lot of times, we just deal with it with our own. And I see that when we do go through these journeys and we find ourselves, like, we tend to, like, really, okay, like, we see that we could talk to somebody. It's okay to go to therapy. And that's another thing too. Like, nobody really goes to therapy anymore. well, how should I say? It's almost like frowned upon, like, oh, you're talking to a shrink in a sense, because when I talk about your problems, yeah. You know, and I think what it is that when the times when our parents were growing up and what they were, instilled in them, and then what they taught us, I think that's what it was. And us being as men, oh, we can't talk about our problems. Like, we can't really talk about that. We just got to be strong. Don't worry about it. It's fine. Whatever. And I feel like now there comes a time where feminine energy, and that's what everybody's talking about, and so on and so forth. And now we're really finding ourselves and really talking about our problems. And, especially when it comes to depression, like, just you never know what people are going through. And it's always, I tell this all the time to people, look, I know sometimes we're humans and we're like, that person, they're not going to hit me up. I'm not going to bother reaching out. But you never know what people are going through until it's always the last minute when something does happen and you're like, damn, I should have checked on that person. I should, whenever I think about somebody or whatever, I'll quickly be like, yo, what's going on? How you doing?
Yeah.
And you'll be surprised by the amount of people that what they're going through, and you're like, damn, like it's really, really like hard for people out there to not even like to say like, okay, I appreciate somebody to reach out to me.
Yeah.
And I think that the appreciation is not really instilled as much because a lot of the times a lot of people don't reach out to people, and it's always last minute. That's just how I feel about that.
Sometimes when it's too late.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, definitely. I feel I was the only girl growing up in my family. I have 3 brothers. My dad was a huge influence. He was very patriarchal, old-fashioned Greek man.
Make America great again. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
He loved America. But, it's I think men are the most damaged.
Very.
And right now it is like all about feminism, and it's even that I feel like maybe has gone too far.
It has. I'll say it with confidence.
Yeah.
I'll say it with utter confidence.
I mean, look, my dad tried to oppress me and suppress me, and I was in his face. So I understand standing up for women's rights. I get it. But men are so damaged because they think they have to just be
superhuman.
I don't know.
Superhuman.
No, you're a person, and you've got feelings,
Yeah.
and it is very hard. And men are suppressed.
Yeah. I mean, we have to be, though.
And now it's such a toxic environment.
Yeah. We have to be, though. We have to. It's
we have to.
Listen, I've gone through a lot of things, right? And what's defined me is the acceptance that I told myself that nobody cares. And it sucks saying that like that. But once I internalize, look, the only person being hurt right now is you, so get it together. And it sucks. Because it's like you have to, all right, cry by yourself. Don't let nobody see it. Like even, I think I had mentioned this to you, like when people talk about Jesus, right? And then the one thing that black people love to talk about is Jesus wept. Right?
Yeah.
We talk about that, right? But what did Jesus do? He was with his disciples, and he left them. And he wept in private because it's a perception of seeing a man that you're following showing a hint of weakness. So when you're dealing with it, put on your big boy pants. It sucks. It sucks. You have to do it for your own benefit and for whoever else is around you. You know what I mean? Like me, I'm a parent, so and there's times when my daughter, we talk about certain stuff, and I let her know. I was like, look, I think to go off topic but on topic. The problem with today's generation, with their kids, right, is that they no longer want to be parents. They want to be friends. And that's the biggest problem. Now, as a child, and any person in general, you're always going to look in a state of crisis. You're always going to look to the person who seems like they know what's going on. Right? If we're here right now, we're going to go and there's some crazy stuff going on. We see the officer, we're dealing with some stuff. Why isn't your gun out? So now if the officer's in a state of panic, now we panic even more. Right. Whoa, the man with a gun is scared? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, word.
You know what I mean? So you have to, as a man, you have to take that role where it's like, okay, I'm going to do this now. I'm going to become this now. I have to do that for everybody's betterment around me. It sucks, but that's what really being a man is about. And it's not a sense of, I'm a man, I got it figured out. I'm tough, look at me. No, it's we're vulnerable, we're whatever, but we have to really, self-internalize and do what we have to do on our own to make sure that everybody's in a safe, secure space,
And the woman appreciates that as well.
I think I'm gonna try to save this before it cuts off because we got like 4%,
sure.
But we'll still keep rocking on this stuff.
Let's do this. Let's do this before you do that, right?
All right.
Let her. Sorry, everybody. Let her.
Yeah, I'm sorry we had to cut off topic because this is about to die.
Social media stuff.
Okay.
Tell everybody your social media.
Okay.
We'll keep rocking with Facebook and Twitch.
Okay.
And then Instagram will go off because even this camera turned off on us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, Instagram. You can find me at Long Island Kundalini Yogini. And follow me. And I guess that's it. Thanks so much for watching.
Yeah, that's dope.
Awesome.
Hold on, tell me your social media.
Oh, yeah.
My man ready to go. He said turn it off.
I'm trying to save it. I don't want it to die. Because it's a good topic, man.
Yeah.
GQ win, 3 N's and 3 underscores. You know the vibes.
Sam Legacy, Mo Weta, MOWETA. We are unscriptedp.cast. You know how it goes. So we're gonna save this. Somebody
said, "Good job, Mom."
Good job, Mom.
Oh, good job, Mom.
Literally, no kidding.
Lydia, thank you.
Big shout out to Lydia.
Yes.
Lydia.
Yeah. All right, so we're gonna save that.
I'm gonna save that right now.
We got.
We gotta end this.
Yeah, we got. If you want to join us on the Facebook, you can, or the
We
Twitch.
got the Facebook though. If y'all want to join.
Yeah, or the YouTube. And then
My girl.
yeah, you could save it, and then what you gonna call it?
Where do I save it? It says just share. It says share.
Yeah, share. And then I'll update it. So just hit the share, and then I'll add everybody's info after.
At least it's
Yeah.
up and
It's
then-
on. Posted.
Yeah. So we're still live though on our
Mercury
Facebook.
retrograde affecting communication. Okay.
We're still live on Facebook and Twitch.
I'm just double checking, making sure. All right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, those are my girls right there.
Aw.
Yeah, my brats.
Yes. They are.
Yeah, I don't have no kids.
It's alright.
No. Trust. No rush is
No
all
rush at
goody.
all.
No rush is
No
all
rush
All
goody.
in due time.
All in due time. Absolutely. 100%.
So, I know we asked you for the social media, since there's like roughly 12 minutes left. When do you have your classes?
So I'm teaching at Ash Hot Yoga on Tuesday nights and Saturday mornings. And next week I start at Sea Change in Lindenhurst. I'll have 4 classes there, 6 a.m. classes for the early birds, because I like to say it's good to wake up your Kundalini before you wake up the kids. It's a great way
Absolutely.
to have your mindset set, and so yeah, 6 a.m. classes there, and then I will be doing some classes online. I will have a Patreon going this year, just, rolling it out slowly,
of course.
getting it all, put together.
Step by step is always the best.
Yes.
It is. Yeah.
Forward progress. That's all that matters. Absolutely.
That's dope. Do you have a website?
Yes, Liky, Liky, because it's hard to spell Kundalini Yoga, so liky.yoga.
Okay. Dope.
Yeah.
Yoga.
It's so amazing that there's so many different practices of yoga. I think people just have this one type of vision of yoga, but there's so many different kinds. And I think I've heard of Kundalini, but I didn't know that, what you said, you had Little Nas X I was like, oh, you could play whatever.
Yeah.
You know, you thinking like I'm thinking yoga, music, but
Right.
no, you play different music. You know.
It's like it's peaceful, it's calm, the rivers, the ocean.
Right.
Yeah.
And there's a time for that.
But it's true though. But that's what
Yeah.
you that's what you see as yoga.
Right.
You know, and then you have your other hot yoga and stuff like that. But then you have your yoga where it's like you're really meditating. You're just finding yourself, and there's all different types.
We do meditation and breath work. Breath work is so underrated and so important. It's coming out more and more. Like right now, it's kind of a trendy topic, but it's so powerful. And so we do Kundalini Yoga is all about breath work and the spine.
Okay.
Our spine is everything.
Yeah,
That's
it's the neural
something we
link.
ignore.
Yeah, you're absolutely right.
And so in KY, we just do a lot of repetitive, rhythmic motions. So we use the body to link with the breath. So the mind like shuts up and shuts down. And then, then you get into the subconscious. You mentioned the subconscious. Our subconscious really affects like 90% of all our behavior.
Yeah.
We don't even know why we
Yeah.
do the thing we do. It just is like, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And you're like, why?
Yeah, it's true.
It's something that happens that was set into motion, years and years and years before.
And
you don't even know why you're doing it, and this is because it's in the subconscious.
Yeah, and you have to reprogram. That's
Reprogram. That's what we do. We
I feel like
reprogram our brains with
It's
Kundalini.
important.
Yeah, it's definitely important. Is there any other benefits when it comes to like, the breath work?
Oh,
Other
goodness.
than like you said, like the high and
That's
the
just
big
what
energy.
helps you.
Yeah.
Really, what it does is balance your hormones. Because the respiratory system is the only system that you can control. You can't control the endocrine system. You can't control the urinary system. You can't control the circulatory system.
Yeah.
But with your respiration, with your breath work, everything becomes in sync. All your systems, your nervous system is right now. I think that's the most important thing that we overlook. Always on our phones, we are like this. We're like all like anxious messes right now because our nervous system is constantly being bombarded. So like the breath work really calms your nervous system. So like we have two. We have the sympathetic, which is the fight or flight, right? So when something happens, your body jumps into take action, right?
Wow.
And then there's the parasympathetic, which is the relaxation response. And so we're in almost constant fight or flight. We're always like, that's why it's stressed. Stress is like, we're always stressed about this. We got to go there. We got to do this. And so we're never in relaxation, really. So in the wild, I tell my students all the time, in the wild, after something happens, like a stressful moment, animals do what they got to do. They get away from their predator, let's say, and then they survive. They go off into their little whatever corner, and then they like shake it off. They reset their nervous system, and then they come back into a state of relaxation where you're alert but relaxed.
You know what I saw? I don't know how valid this was. This is in a movie because you just mentioned the fight or flight thing. They said like some like human beings like after they've gone through something that dangerous, like their hormones are high. Like they want to, I guess, because they're close to death. Now they want to procreate. Like listen, if I'm gonna die, let me leave Junior.
Right. Yeah. Sure.
That's crazy. So I didn't know the validity of that. But
I mean, I could see that. I don't know exactly, but I could see that being a response. Sure, you're like all pumped up, right? You got your circulation going. But when you're stressed out, your adrenaline is up, your cortisol goes up, like you're just on.
Yeah.
But you can't stay in that state for too long.
Yeah.
Because your adrenaline is just going to burn you out. And that's the state of, like, you know, most of the population. So what I teach is to come back into a relaxed mode, but you're still alert. You're not like this, you know. It's
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, I'm relaxed, but I'm still, like, present. I can hear everything. I can see everything. You're, like, relaxed from, like, a higher
Gotcha.
Frequency,
place.
yeah.
Yes. So you're both relaxed and alert at the same time. So that's when your body is able to heal itself. That's when your metabolism is working. That's when everything is working in sync. Your hormones are balanced, and that's what we do with the breath. That's the only thing we have conscious control over, and people don't realize that. We're very shallow breathers. Gotta breathe into your belly.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
It's a big process, but it's very easy, and Kundalini Yoga is so much fun. I really enjoy it, and I think a lot of my students enjoy it, and it just puts you in a good place.
That's dope. That's definitely dope.
Raise your frequencies.
All right. Well,
Absolutely.
Steph, it was a pleasure.
Definitely a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I mean, we hope, you know, you come back again.
Yeah, and I'd like to meet your friends that you were talking about.
Yeah,
We
if we can have them on, that'd be dope. My boy Wedley and
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah, I believe he came back. I don't know if he's in Long Island or whatever, but I had to call
Did
him.
you have him on recently? I think I was looking.
Yeah, my
boy
Wed. Well, so there's Wed and there's Mr. El Mystique.
I think that's
Yeah.
the one I saw.
Yeah, so they're both, you know, one is a more, but he's more along the lines of, like, you know, spirituality and knowing the laws of knowing yourself, and it's a lot. We've had a lot of amazing people come and join our podcast and just give us a different perspective on life and how to view things. You know what I mean? Like, it's the one thing I love about us is that we're not closed-minded.
Yeah, we will never judge anybody that comes on this podcast.
Yeah.
And even when we had both of them, you know, people were asking so many questions because, again, a lot of people don't know.
Yeah.
So when you actually have somebody that been through it, now you could inform everybody else who are guests, and it's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing a really good thing, letting people
Speak their mind, and yeah, absolutely, 100%. That's what we're all about.
Thank you so much for having me.
Anytime. We appreciate you. Thank you.
So, Mr. GQ Win.
Yo, man.
You know, it was great, man. It was looking good, man. I wish you saw how we looked in the camera. Like, y'all was looking like superstars.
Yeah, it was clean.
And then it was like,
It's clean.
Battery exhausted. Turn off.
It's all good.
Need some Kundalini Yoga.
Breathe better battery, man. What's going on?
You better batteries, man.
So, you guys can follow us on Twitch. It's Unscripted PCast. No, that's wrong. That's Twitter. Twitch is Unscripted ENT.
Is it ENT?
Yeah,
Mm.
Unscripted ENT for entertainment.
Yeah.
And then Facebook is unscriptedp.cast, and then Instagram is unscriptedp.cast.
Same thing, yeah.
And then you have my social media, which is Sam Legacy, MOWETA, on all social media: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, yeah,
All that good stuff.
YouTube. Yeah, just, and you have to. It's annoying. It is. I'm not gonna lie to you. GQ Win.
Yeah, man. Same out. I only have one, and I just try to keep it that way. I just like it simple. But yes, GQ Win with 3 N's and 3 underscores. The reason why I have all that is because my Instagram got hacked. So yeah.
Yeah, it'd be like that.
It happens, though.
Two-factor authorization.
Yeah, I realized that after when I was like, it was actually a whole friend that I've known for many years, and I thought it was her that was messaging me, and I need some help about voting or something like that. I'm like, yeah, sure, no problem. And I was at the hair salon getting my hair braided, washing my hair and everything like that, gonna wash it below first, and I look at my phone, I'm like, email changed, password changed. That was it.
People need to do something with their lives.
Right.
Bored.
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 That's terrible.
But
It's always
it's all good.
Scammer, you know?
Yeah.
So With that being said,
Yeah.
you are loved.
Mm-hmm.
You're appreciated. You are valued. You can do whatever you set your mind to. As long as you believe it, you can
Achieve it.
This is the Unscripted Podcast.
All talk.
And we are out of here. Let's do it, baby.
Peace out.